In a shocking turn of events, immigrant women married to a US citizen are now being detained by immigration and custom enforcement. This is part of a broader crackdown on immigration under US President Donald Trump's administration. Since taking the office, Trump has introduced several tough policies, including shutting down CBP One App, attempting to end birthright citizenship, and ramping up ICE raids in major cities like New York, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. These raids are happening in places once considered safe, such as churches, schools, and hospitals. Now, ICE has been given more power to arrest immigrants, including those who are legally married to US citizens but they have not yet received their green cards. One such case is of Camila Munoz, a woman from Peru who have been living in the United States legally while waiting for her permanent residency. She and her husband, Bradley Bartel, were returning from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico when an immigration officer at the airport asked about her status. The moment she mentioned that she was not a US citizen, she was arrested on the spot. She had overstayed her visa but had already applied for legal residency, paid her taxes, and married to a US citizen. However, under the new crackdown, none of that mattered. She was taken to the detention center in Louisiana where she had been held for weeks. Ironically, her husband had voted for Trump in 2024 elections but never imagined that these immigration policies could impact his own family. Munoz is not alone here. Several other immigrant married women to the United States as citizens have been detained in recent months. Some of these women have lived in the US for over 30 years, built their lives over there, and their families who are American citizens. According to a media house from the US only, ICE had detained women at the airport checkpoints in Puerto Rico and the Virginia Islands, including one who came to the US as a child under the DREAM Act and another who had lived with her legal permanent resident fiancé for 9 years. None of them had criminal records, yet they were all arrested simply because they had not completed the lengthy immigration process. Let me tell you about the rules now. US immigration law states that overstaying a visa is an administrative violation, not a criminal offense. Typically, people who are married to US citizens can apply for waiver that allows them to stay. However, the current administration has given ICE full authority to detain anybody, regardless of their application status. There are even reported quotas of detaining and deporting immigrants, meaning that ICE is actively looking for people to arrest in order to meet the targets. Well, this couple's story is just one example of how quickly a person's life can change under these policies. Munoz had initially come to the US on a student visa, but was unable to return home due to COVID-19 pandemic and there were a lot of travel restrictions. She followed all the legal steps required for residency. Yet, she now finds herself in detention with nearly 80 other women. In the meantime, her husband, heartbroken and desperate, has hired immigration attorney to fight for her release. He has also begun questioning his political choices, realizing that immigration policies that he once supported are now destroying his own family. Now, this situation raises serious concern about the treatment of immigrants in the US, specifically those who are legally in the process of being citizens. Advocacy groups, including ACLU, warns that anybody going through immigration proceeding should be aware of how easily the system can turn against them. Many families are now living in fear, wondering if their loved ones will be next or not. With ICE crackdowns increasing, it is clear that even marriage to a US citizen no longer guarantees safety for immigrants in America.